I hear you. What kind of seasonings do you use for your food?
All right, every seasoning that's made in this world is made from dry herbs. So if you start to look at it from a dry herbs perspective, you just buy, because I like to mix things up, you know? And another thing was very good to make seasoning is like, you know, the microgreens what you buy, they use in restaurant to decorate and stuff. If you dry those and then you blend them, then you add your peppers to it, like your Scotch bonnet. So you have like your flavor will always be different, you know. So I make up a lot of stuff, and here you can buy cumin and this and that. You can add the amount with it, so you can build your own all-purpose. Another all-purpose is what I use if I was to just buy one. I think it would be Raja. The all-purpose Raja is kind of, I know it's we have our own from back home, but I think those are salty. And if you put too much salt and when you put too much seasoning, you get the salt come out more than the flavor of the seasoning itself. You know, so I think I only use this because it's like it have less salt content than the rest. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Because
Okay.
I've used the Grace, I've used all of them. I try all of them, all of them. But the thing is, there is the amount of salt to the amount of flavor. It's not really that balanced. You know what I mean? So that's why I tend to maybe just make some more, because otherwise the food is salty, but the flavor and profile is not really there. You know? Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So Raja's your top all-purpose seasoning.
Yeah, but if I'm making a little rub and I want a quick stuff, because I don't like to use too much of it, so I will use that with those fresh herbs. If I'm going to use any powder, you know what I mean? Otherwise, you know, you can make your own up with salt and dry oil. You can have the coriander and all this kind of stuff and dry them and get the cumin seed and make your stuff up, you know, and balance that yourself, you know. So yeah, the flavor, if you want to get the flavor profile and then add salt, but most of them, they had the salt with just a little bit of flavor. So you most like, you understand? So it's just cooking with them and see which one work for you.
If I remember rightly, you used to make up your own seasonings before your assistant chefs arrived, and then just said, season it with this. So you didn't give away your recipes, basically.
No, I didn't, because, you know, then people just come spend 2 weeks with you and leave. So, and then, you know, my chefs they're not from here anyway, so they wasn't from our culture, so I inherit them. And, you know, it's like they, you know, so imagine, you know, me going to France and trying to cook French food and with people who grew up in France, you know, so it makes sense for them to give me, you know, the stuff that I can just use. It's more user-friendly than like me.
Yeah.
That's why I did that, you know.
So these were the Polish chefs that you met at the Lane? Who you took with you when you had your restaurant?
Yeah.
They moved with you. Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Right, so we're going to move on now and talk about your restaurant experience with other restaurants after Canary Wharf. So, for instance, the one in Liverpool Street, and also Croatia, Jamaica, Dubai. So could you talk about those, please?
Sure.
Just one after the other.
Okay. So I sold the restaurant in Canary Wharf. I did that. My son was just had a son, and you know, that's when I went to Jamaica because I wanted to just spend some time with him, because you know, restaurant take at least 20 hours a day out of your life, you know. So I went over, and Chris Blackwell asked me to manage all his hotels. I think he had 3 hotels. I spent 3 months with him. I didn't like it because of the way you know, the staff was looked at, you know, it's just long. And then Mr. Leachin asked me to run his place in Trident, the Trident Castle, which that's the job I enjoyed doing the most. I really genuinely enjoyed, because I was home, I had my family, and all I use is fresh ingredients. I literally, me and the fisherman, them was like best friend. We get drunk in the night. Oh my God. They would just go and then bring the fresh done. I was like, it's like I rediscover myself when I go home, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, man. So it was really, really cool. That restaurant, unfortunately, you know, Rio had to go to school and we have to look at coming back to London, and you know what I mean? Because they're in Portland, they don't have the school that, like, you know, my wife wasn't happy with the schools, like, you know, so I said that's what, you know, coming back here. And then we I was trying to, I figured out how to do some crazy stuff because, you know, everything is social media. So I was planning and using a car to run a restaurant service. You know, I find the technology how to do this. So literally I can string the car up and run my whole kitchen for the power from the car. But I couldn't find anyone to do this in UK. So I asked a friend, I was asking a friend, he said, look, my friend in Dubai, they do all kind of crazy stuff over there. So maybe you have a car company, maybe we should, I will talk to him and, you know, so that was a conversation. So the guy said, okay, yeah, invite him over for the Formula One. So they invite me over, I went over to Dubai. So they have this yacht in Abu Dhabi, like right on this at the track. And like, it was wicked, man. So the first night we went, there was no food. I'm like, dude, what's up? They said, like, no, we're not allowed to cook here because of the fumes from the car and stuff. I'm like, okay, do you have a house? They say, yes, okay, cool, no problem, we'll cook. So like, I go to the supermarket and pick up some stuff in his house, cook, and I make the most amazing canapes. And everywhere on the yacht, there was small canapes, and they have them girls pouring champagne. The guy was like, oh my God, oh my God. You know, so we didn't have to cook. We just need to put, you know what I mean? We just get everything arranged, ready, and it's just canapes, right? And the guy just said, look, let's open a restaurant here. This is conversation, like, you know, I'm like, I'll say, okay, I'm Jamaican, okay, no problem. You know, so it's like, so, that was that. And I left when I come back to London, and that was the last weekend in November. And about 3 months after, they rang me and said they found a place, and if it's possible for me to come over, they will send a ticket for me to come over to come and look and see if I like it. And I'm like, okay. So I go over back to Dubai. Place was nice. They show me the plans they have, send me all the drawings, what they want to do, and they're like, okay, let's go. So I come back to London, and in the summer they tell me to come over, and we start building. Now, this is actually the best restaurant I've ever built, to be honest, you know, because especially recently, yeah, it was wicked, man, literally wicked, because we built it from scratch. Take me 1 year though, because Dubai, the laws in Dubai are a bit different when it comes down to business. You have to wait for everything. You have to wait for alcohol licenses, the hardest thing to get. You know, it was kind of funny. It would normally take me like 6 weeks to put a restaurant together in England. Now in Dubai, it take me 1 year. You know, so we launched that restaurant, did extremely well, you know. But then I have to come back because I leave my family too long, you know. So I leave it over there to do it. Croatia one is somebody just approached me and said, listen, we love what you're doing, and I think we should put this in the beach in Croatia. That was supposed to be from last summer because of the COVID now. So that's like that's still in the pipeline, just to see what the world is doing, and then because they have nice beaches there. And,
really?
They want this Jamaican kind of cultural lifestyle, you know. It's like just to put that on the beach, it was sick. They love the whole concept, you know.
Oh wow!
I'll send you the pictures, you will see it's beautiful, man.
Okay.
And then when I come back to London, when I was in Dubai actually, the guys who own Tracks and Record came to Dubai. The owners from Jamaica, Harry, he's a good friend of mine at the day, and he just come and have dinner with us in in Dubai. He was eating. He was like, I was giving him rice and peas, and he cannot recognize it. You know, he's like, how is it possible to do this? It's like, because Dubai, you can get away with everything, you know what I mean? Like, you just do things. I could never do this kind of stuff in London. Everybody would complain, like, man, this, not this.
It's not the way my mom
Oh,
made it.
God, Jesus of mercy, God help us all. And it's like, so, and why so little bit?
You know, why is
And
it this big?
yeah. They want 3 course on 1 plate, It's like, else it's not food. And then it was telling like, and then they said, what we pay? And this one we pay for it in the takeaway. It's like, it's like, you know what I mean? So I get to do what I really wanted to do in Dubai. And this guy, he was like, so he's telling me he launched Tracks and Record in London. So I said, how is it going? He said, man, I'm getting hammered, brother. The reviews are unbelievable crazy. So I said, look, if anything, I'll come to London, I will have a look and see what you're doing, and see what I can help you with. He said, yeah, will you? I said, yeah, cool, no problem. So he said he will send the guy who owned the franchise. He's gonna come to Dubai, so I will send him to come see me. I said, okay. So the guy come down, we spend the whole night chatting and eating, everything. He just have everything on the menu. And we wait until 7:30 in the morning. It was, what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. So I said, listen, when I come to London, definitely we're gonna link up. So I come over and we link up, and I go up there, and man, it was going. This guy was going through hell down.
Yeah. So this Tracks and Record, this is a restaurant near Liverpool Street in London, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one that Usain Bolt had a link with.
Yeah. That's his franchise. Yeah. So
okay.
When I went in and see how they set up, firstly, I know it's a franchise restaurant, and I know when the franchise restaurant, you need to buy this and you need to buy that, but the cost of running the restaurant was like ridiculously too much high. You know what I mean? So I started to look at how to reduce the cost, because he was like, I think he told me he needed to make 35,000 a week just to break even.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, so he bring me in on a consulting kind of setup, stroke kind of a management kind of, you know what I mean? And I end up in the kitchen because, there's no way I'm going to see things and don't start it, you know what I mean? So the guy have 15 chefs, and for the take-ins, what you're making for 15 chefs, like, this is impossible. So we restructure, reshape, we go down to 5 chefs. There is a chef who's, and then I promote the kitchen porters. So I stop employ chefs and start employ kitchen porters. So kitchen porter work their way up to the kitchen. You understand what I'm saying? So in a few months, he tell me now we only need 20,000 a week to break even. But we was hitting the target. We was like way over. We like, in just a couple of months, the transformation was just like different. And now that's me. I start from nothing, so I understand how to make things work out of nothing. You know what I mean? So I just put in that whole concept together of how I do things, and instead of buying certain things, we make it. Because if you're doing a food I grew up cooking from when I was a kid, I know how to make most of the things that you have to buy. That's what I'm trying to say. So we cut the cost down at a drastic level. You know what I mean? But then the COVID come in, and that's when everything just closed down now, But it was happening, man. That place was turning around like crazy. Like the take-ins was like a lot. When I say a lot, like he was, oh my God, the guy himself couldn't believe it's in a few months what happened.
Oh wow. You came in and you worked your magic, huh?
It's just like it's just understanding the Caribbean food market, you know what I mean? Done like you can't just go, if you buy most of the stuff that's imported, you're paying for the duty, and you're paying for, I think the rent was like 400 grand or something. Like, man, why would you sign such a deal? This is a crazy thing. There's no way, So it's just like understanding what not to do.
Yes.
This is the most important bit, you have to, negotiate some ways where, and you have to put things in like business inside of business for it to be able to be sustainable. You can't just because if you miss 1 hour worth of trading, That's a lot of cost you just missed there because you have staff standing around for an hour, you burn electric, gas, water. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to make sure every hour is utilized. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to plan for all this thing.
The skills and the knowledge you have are useful for any restaurant, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're certainly transferable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and being around Liverpool Street, I suppose the rent was very, very high, I would imagine. Although it's a brilliant area when everyone's working, I suppose during the pandemic, sales must have fell drastically, especially with lockdown, you know? So is Tracks and Record going to make it out of the pandemic, do you think?
No, I don't think they're going to open again.
Really? Yeah. All restaurants in this country are suffering. And then I would imagine around the world too, you know, the hospitality industry has really suffered. Yeah, so I can understand that.
Yeah.
How long were you in Dubai for?
Just over a year.
Just over a year. Oh, okay. Would you go back?
Yeah, it's a visit, but for business it's a little bit strange because of if I'm going to do business, I would most likely do it in like food courts, like in the malls and stuff like that, instead of having an independent restaurant.
Okay.
It can be a little bit costly because of, like here, you know, you employ people and that's it. Down there, you have to sort everybody who you employ, you have to get their visa. And I think maybe it's about $1,000 US or £1,000 for each person visa. And you have to find accommodation for them. And you have to work out transport for them. So basically that's a cost with staff alone. And maybe perhaps you and the staff don't even get on. But that's like standard setup fee plus rent. You might not pay no tax, but you still have to pay. They have some things where you have to pay. It's a lot of money. It's a lot, you know, so, and then the laws is like, the laws is not that bad. Once you have your alcohol license and stuff, it's okay. But I mean, to get there, it takes a lot. And then if you have a bad month, you're in trouble because Dubai is not a place where you can miss a payment. If you miss your rent, you can go to jail.
What?
Yeah. So not like here where you can owe your landlord 2 months, and it's not possible to do that in Dubai, you know. The Shariah law is a bit different, you know. So you know, if you have to do something where there's high foot flow, or you have some really good savings behind you or backings behind you or something.
Yes, understood. Okay, so let's talk now about people who are thinking about setting up a restaurant. You know, you were so experienced. It sounds like you've worked in at least 10 or owned quite a few. So what would you say are the things that a new restaurant owner should be looking to do? That's the first thing. And the second thing is, what should they definitely not do? Over to you, expert.
I think the first thing you're doing when you're doing a restaurant is, like, first of all, don't consider it as a restaurant. You have to look at it as an extended version of your home. So it will be more, you can more personalize it and people will get the concept quicker than this way than you trying to look at something and try to be like them. Because if you be like somebody, you can only be like them. You know what? You understand what I'm trying to show you? It's like, when I was setting up the restaurant in Canary Wharf, and first thing people ask me, why are you going there? Because there's no black people there. You know, I wasn't thinking of culture or anything like this. I was just thinking of just opening a restaurant, you know, and the decor wasn't nothing like you would see people come and ask me, so how come you don't have no Caribbean painting and this? And I want it to be like my living room. You know what I mean? I am from the Caribbean. You know, so I don't need to put that. You understand what I'm trying to show you? So you have to figure out what you're trying, what are you selling? You understand what I'm saying? And then you do your marketing around that. Is it going to be like healthy, clean food that way you grow up eating things like from your region only within a 3-mile radius where you grow up? Or you understand what I'm saying? So once you find your identity, it's very easier for you to market what you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? But when you take a little bit of this culture, a little bit of that culture, it confuses customers. You understand what I'm saying? If you're going to do that, you tell them, okay, this is things that we source. It's like a healthy version of food where we remove this and remove that. So basically, people come knowing like it's something special what you're doing. You understand what I'm trying to show you? So that's what my number one tip would be. Is just finding your identity properly, you know, and never ever thinking you open a restaurant because you're going to try and run a restaurant. You have to look like if people is coming to your home, first thing you do, you make sure your toilet is okay. You make sure it's not like, oh, the cleaner responsibility to do this and this. Like, you understand, it's your responsibility. You have to take this on. Like, you understand what I'm trying to show you? You make it a bit more personal so that the customer come, they can relate to you more. Like, they can see you know what you're doing more. You understand what I'm saying? Which that's why I think some of us just slip into this boss mentality too quick. You understand what I'm saying? I have people come to my restaurant, Don. I'll tell you this one specific guy stand out. He come in one day for I think when we just get Rosette and we decide like let's up the standard because we want to take it to the next level more, you know. So yeah, we trying to get more higher caliber of service staff and whatsoever, and like, you know, people who can, you know. And I remember this guy came in for an interview, and he came in the restaurant. My restaurant chef, Collin on the front, and we wasn't open. But for 3 years, I cleaned the floor myself because I hate when the cleaner put the polish on. The board is going this way, and they put the polish this way. It's annoying me like yo. So I decided instead of arguing with this person, it's best I just come 1 hour early and do it myself. So I've been doing it for 3 years. And I remember this guy walking and he asked for Kat to do the interview. So I said, she's at the back, she's interviewing somebody, just wait for a second. And obviously he see me with the mop, so mopping. So he assumed I'm the cleaner. So, you know, I'm trying to talk to him like, so, you know, just chit chat. So where are you from? Like, my God, the attitude this guy was like, because I'm the cleaner, you know, I shouldn't be asking him nothing, you know. So, you know, I said, look, so you need a drink or not? He said, no, I'm fine. I said, okay, cool. Very nice, posh person. So I'm like, no problem. You just wait, she will come. And I went, then I finished up doing my mopping and I clean myself up, go in the kitchen. So he do his interview and then Kat bring him around to meet me. Let me tell you something, Don. I've never seen a man color change like this. Like only lizard does do this madness. You know? Tell you something. Let me explain something to you. Listen, oh my God, when you realize it was me, you know? And I was like, I said to him, look, man, firstly, I don't fire people. I don't hire people to fire them, you know? So, because I always believe in having a team, you know? So I said, listen, I cannot employ you. I'm going to be explaining to you why. Because like, you take people at face value, you cannot do this. It's not, you can't decide which money you want, which £5 you want. It could be the madman, the homeless man, the rich man. It's like a fiver is a fiver. You understand what I'm saying? When you get paid with that money. You understand what I'm saying? So you cannot stereotype nobody. Once you have a business, an entity, you have to literally just treat everybody the same. You don't look at people and make an assumption. Because 2 weeks before, Russell Simmons came to the restaurant. This guy down here, he have a baseball cap on, a t-shirt, a jeans with grip, yeah, and trainers, and, you know. And the only reason you might know like this man might have a little bit of money because he have a very nice watch. You understand? If this guy was at the door when this guy turned up, he would turn him back, 100%.
Oh wow!
And this is the problem. What I try to avoid. You have to take this the way how you see people, because rich people do not dress up for some strange reason. You can spot them from a mile, you know. Yeah. And I'm like, you cannot afford to do this in the environment or what we're trying to create. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just understanding these little things when you're setting up restaurant, getting the right team, the right people who can treat everybody as just a person. Once that person is breathing, you have to look at him like, here. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the trick to it, to be honest, you know?
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah.
What about the kind of food you offer, the menu? How would you plan the menu for a new restaurant?
Plan it, like what you need to do when you're planning a menu is you have to look at people's health, what people is eating. You don't need a massive menu. You just need a very effective menu You know, you have to make sure you have at least 3 decent vegetarian meals, 3 starters, 3 mains, 3 dessert. Where vegetarian can, because if you have a table of 20 and there's one vegetarian or vegan person, and there's nothing for them, you just lose 19 customers. So it's just these things you have to take in consideration. So always think properly before I know a lot of chefs get crazy when vegetarian people come to the restaurant because why do you even bother come out? But the thing is, for us, my background allow me to be able to put these things together with ease, because we grow up in this mountain where meat is just a complement to vegetable. You understand what I'm saying? So that's one of the most important things, making sure you have a very balanced menu. And if you're gonna go for, you have to make sure your ingredients are sourced properly, right? You have to make sure, just don't go and buy chicken. It's what kind of chicken? Just go and buy, you understand? If you're gonna buy fish, make sure it's coming from either the fish market or reputable. You understand? So the quality of everything is in your restaurant is known for this kind of quality. You know what I mean? So that's very, very important.
Okay. And what about marketing? What should people do with regards to marketing when they're opening a new restaurant?
Now marketing is not as difficult as it used to be, but they have some things called influencers now. God, I don't know when this just happened.
Influencers.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, marketing now is very easy. It's not like first time when you have to be in a PR company and all this kind of stuff. If you open and you decorate your place the right way, where people will just come and take pictures of themselves, and saying where they are, that your business can just take off like this, if you get the right person in. So that also come down to how you decorate your place, and always make sure you have a place where just work for people to do all kind of stuff. So just paying attention to the trend, the latest trend, and what's what, but make sure your product is right. That means they talk about your product while they're doing what they're doing. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm never so worried about marketing anymore. They say the environment has changed. Normally, before I used to have to get a PR company, pay them how much $1,000 a month just to get things out there, and you know what I mean? It's different now. So
I hear you.
Yeah.
One of the things I used to like to do is, if I go to a new restaurant, is to check out the toilets.
Yeah.
Now I've got to say, the toilets in your restaurants were always the business.
Yeah.
You always took care and attention.
Yeah, because Donna said it, you have to treat it like it's your extended version of your home. Right? So I'm doing the floor, my wife doing the toilet. It's just like, we always be like, people coming to our home. It's not like a restaurant. So that's why it was a bit personal, We have to, and that's it. That's it's, as I said, there's no one responsibility. It's all our responsibility to make sure.
Yeah, the decor would be brilliant in the toilet. Yeah. Got to say, and the furnishings you put in there was just amazing. Definitely. You'd feel like you were in a 5-star hotel.
And that's how we wanted it to be, like not just a Caribbean restaurant where we have the beach paint on the wall and this. I want it to be a place that serves beautiful Caribbean food, and you feel like you're in somebody's home. Like, you understand what I'm saying? That's what the kind of style I was going for, and
So what about people who are starting a restaurant? What are the things that you feel they should not do? They should definitely not do, because it will ruin the restaurant. Tell me.
Firstly, you can't open a restaurant until you find your right chef. Or, some people open a restaurant, then they go and look for the staff and whatsoever. You have to understand, you have to work from, firstly, you have to get your team together first. And, you build, they don't just open a restaurant and then you go and try to find staff and you come up with a menu where you want people to cook, because no one understands how to do what's in your head. You understand what I'm saying? So you create together with a team. That's one of the most important thing you need to do. Or unless you're a chef and you want to do your own stuff, you know what I mean?
Okay. What else should they not do?
I know the staffing is very important. You have to get the right staff. You
What
know,
about mistakes? Were there mistakes that you made that you feel, oh, you would make sure that you never do it again and would tell people not to do that?
mistakes. I'm making a lot of emotional decisions. You know, I should have maybe planned things a little bit more when it comes down to it. But then that's what kind of made me who I am, by making the mistakes and correcting. So that's why it's kind of hard for me to say, don't do this, don't do that. You know what I mean? Because then you learn a lot about it, and you become a stronger business person. You know.
Yes,
So,
I hear you.
but you always have to just watch the bottom line at all times. That's very important. You know. Don't be writing a menu because, oh, I need to put lobster on the menu, I need to put this on the menu, because if it's not going to make the money, it's no point having it on the menu just because. You understand what I'm saying? You have to work it out. Like, you remember when we used to do the lobster for starter, and we tried to do it for main course, and we will sell maybe 1 or 2 lobster for the whole week, and we decided to buy a smaller lobster and sell half of a lobster like a thermidor. And we were selling it by this. We're making more money from more than the one lobster we normally sell. And mostly every table order it. So,
was this for main course or starter?
Starter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you sell a smaller lobster instead of a big lobster, things like that, most like people want to go, oh, we need to have filet mignon, or we need to bake wagyu. But the thing is, the price what you pay for this piece of meat, if you have to put your markup on it, it's not really feasible. You know, it's not unless you're doing it just for a special or something, for, you know what I mean, where you know you're not going to make money from it. But you have to always look at it's like, it's no point putting a piece of steak where going to cost X amount. It's basically use a cheaper cut and make like a stew or something, just to have beef on the menu. Because people tend to be like, oh, I need ribeye steak, and you buy your ribeye for this amount of money, and you're only making £1 or £2 on it. It's not even worth it.
Yeah. The celebrities that you've fed, you've mentioned a few so far in our talk. Yeah. You've mentioned Russell Simmons, Kelly Rowland.
Yeah.
Would you like to name drop some more of people that you have fed over your time? Go on then.
Okay, we done some stuff with Beyonce, Katy Perry, and Mr. Rockefeller was my best client, I think, you know. He is the stuff that he want. I find it very interesting. He like the stuff that my grandmother like, you know, like, okay, can I have this? You know, we like to try something, and then, you know. So he was more like the kind of why I like experiment most likely with food, like, you know. And the other people, they're all just straightforward. Can I have oxtail? Can I have this? But this one was like, he was interested in our culture. He was interested in, you know, stuff that we eat. I was giving him things. This man is like the most powerful man on the planet. And I was giving him food he never experienced. So for me, it was very good, because I was making like susumba, susumba rundown, and I served it with fagua. And, you know, so it's like, he's been eating fagua all his life, but he's never experienced it like with this kind of sauce, because this sauce, only poor people eat it. Like, you have to be extremely poor to eat this. You know, it's like you have nothing else to eat. You know what I mean? So, you know, it works again. There's a lot. Cisco, 50 Cent, Joe.
50 Cent?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Christina Milian, I think you actually do something. Well, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Okay.
There's a lot.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll show some pictures of these people, huh?
Oh my God. All right.
Yeah. It's great because chefing has really opened quite a number of doors for you, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember that sometimes we wouldn't speak for months or even years, and then you'd come back and say, oh, Dawn, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. And whatever happens, you always land on your feet and you always get amazing offers, you know? So well done. You've done really well with, you know, your talent. And I really hope to see you go even further. You mentioned that you're writing a book, and you're going to be doing some lessons as well, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay.
My next move now, so I'm working towards doing this
Yeah.
Online.
And you had some products in the supermarket as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I was in, I think it's 100 and something supermarket, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
And you also have an input in a patty company?
Yeah, the Jamaica Party Company.
Yes, tell us about that.
Well, the guy, is Teresa, is a lady from Jamaica, and her husband is a lawyer. I think he's one from the city, you know. So I think he sold. He was the lawyer who do the sale of the Cornish pasty company. So they said they want to make the Jamaican version of it. So that's why the patty, the crust is more bigger and like, you know, it's more like a Cornish pasty. And you know, well, so they asked me to do all the recipes and the crust, the fillings, and whatever. So there is a company we licensed a company to make it for us, you know. So we just give the recipe and stuff. It's really good because it does really right, you know, the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's in the city, so how's it doing during the pandemic?
It's still open, you know. It's in Covent Garden.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still, you know, because I think the party sell, man, crazy. It's only like $3.95 for a party. People buy it because it's more meaty and it's like we use proper steak. It's not,
Yes,
they had a lot of, like when you make party, people make party, they had a lot of, the fillings is full with all kind of bread, this is a proper meat, like, you know what I mean? So, and the butchers where we get the meat from is the same who supply, what you call it, what's it like? Raymond Blanc. They supply, you know, they buy stuff from the Prince Charles farm, you know? So it's quality stuff, we you know.
Okay. So you're still a part of them?
Yeah, just do all the food. I just help them out with that stuff, like, you know.
Okay, good for you. So you still got an outlet on the high street, so to speak.
We have to do what we have to do, don't we?
You have to do what we have to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, we look forward to hearing what your next move is going to be. So well done.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for appearing with us on Black Economics TV.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
And we're going to keep in touch, all right?
100%.
All right, then. You take care.
Wonderful day, okay?
Thank you.
God bless
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.